This is what I found the easiest way to scan 35mm film. Hey guys, this is Sam. Today I want to introduce you the VALOI Easy 35. Over a year ago, I switched from scanning my film on a flatbed scanner, my Epson VA50, to scanning with my own digital camera. Now I have a whole setup for that. I used to shoot a lot more 120 formats than 135, but even between 120 format, you have 645, 66, 67. Every time I change format, I have to readjust the camera height to reframe, sometime rebalancing and all that. And for 135, you most likely have to swap out the film carrier and readjust all that over again. Until recently, I started to shoot a lot more 135mm, and I found that this is the simplest, fastest, and easiest way to scan my 35mm film without this whole copy stand look setup. So yeah, let's take a look what this thing actually is. First of all, you get this Easy 35 body itself, which has a light panel built into it already. Then you have the standard 35mm film holder. I already put mine in there. You get a set of distance tube, and then you get a set of filter thread adapters from 39 to 46, 49, 52, 55, 58 to 67. The unit itself is natively 62mm, so that size is already covered without an adapter. All you need is a digital camera with a micro lens that's recommended that can focus to 1:1 magnification. To start out, honestly, you can use pretty much any camera. The differences will be the scanning size, the sharpness, and the color depths, and so on. Full frame camera is definitely recommended. If you have a medium format digital camera, that's awesome, but even an APS-C camera or a micro third camera will do if you already own one and you don't want to invest a whole lot into it just yet. I'll put a cheat sheet here for what lens is recommended for each camera type. If your lens is too short, you risk vignetting at the corner. If you go too long, the included tube might not give you enough extension to reach 1:1 ratio. The camera I'm using, it's the Canon R5. This is the camera I already own before I even start shooting film. And then I picked up a 100mm micro lens just for the scanning setup. If you already understand the fundamental of how camera scanning work, this will be a no-brainer for you. But even this is your first time scanning with a digital camera or scanning with anything, trust me, this is very easy to use. First of all, check your lens. Pick your thread adapter and attach it to your lens. Screw the right size adapter on, add your distance tubes if you need them to reach 1:1. And then the Easy 35 body goes on last. Then load your film into the holder. I normally would wipe it down first to get rid of any dust. Slide the strip into the standard 35mm holder. It will keep the film flat and aligned with your camera. This is much easier to do if you keep your film strip uncut. Then you can just go through the whole thing all at once. So if you're sending your film to a lab, you may want to make a note to them, do not cut your film. Otherwise, you just have to go through this 6 times. After that, for first time use, you need to plug it in to get power and then just turn the light on, set your color temperature if your film stock need it. I normally would just leave this on a neutral white since I will be adjusting white balance anyway when I'm converting the film. As for camera setting, put your camera in manual mode and dial in your exposure. I normally would just set the f-stop at 11, ISO at 100 or 200, and then adjust my shutter speed accordingly. One other thing you may want to do is to make sure your white balance in your camera is set at a certain number. It will help you to batch convert the whole roll later in Lightroom. If you're using a more modern camera and lens, autofocus works just fine, but I'm always feel anxious about it, so I always manually focus with my focus peak turned on. And then you fire the shutter, advance the film, and then repeat. A full roll of 36 frame shouldn't take you more than a few minutes to do once you get it going. When I scan with this device, my camera is most likely not tethered to my computer, so I can use it pretty much anywhere. And it also has a built-in battery in it. On a full charge, it should last you about like 2 hours. That just makes it even more portable and convenient. After that, I'll just take the card out and then bring the raw files into a conversion tool. I use Lightroom and Negative Lab Pro to flip the negative to positives. Then from there, you can start your convert and editing process. If you are interested in my convert and editing process, leave me a comment down below. Maybe we can make a whole nother video to cover that. This video isn't sponsored or anything, just to be transparent. I just personally really want to share this with you because I think the whole design is so smart. The housing itself is built of plastic but feels rigid. And the LED light built into it, it's a CRI 95 rated, which means it will give you accurate color on your negatives. The distance tube has this matte finish that looks and feels really nice. This matte finish also means there's no stray reflection bouncing back on your film while you scan. Is this going to replace my whole dedicated scanning rig? No, I don't think so. A bigger setup still will give you more controls and you can scan a lot more different format with it. But for 35mm specifically, this little piece of gear will give you genuinely good scan without this whole setup headache. And that is exactly the point of it. Honestly, I think this is best for someone who just getting into camera scanning. You've been sending your film to a lab and getting their JPEG a little scan, and then you're curious about converting it yourself at home, and you're curious about if you can get a different color of it. This lets you try the whole process, shooting, converting, editing without dropping a whole bunch of money on a full rig or a dedicated flatbed scanner before you even know if this is something you want to keep doing. Because honestly, scanning and editing can be a lot of work. One other thing worth mentioning, this unit I have is the original EZ35 Vision 1. VALOI has since released an upgraded version that looks like an even more solid setup from what I've seen on their website. If this is something you wanted to try, if you're shopping for one, I think it's worth to looking into the differences between these two versions. Now I'm thinking of it, I made a video very long time ago covering my Epson VA50 scanning setup and my whole editing workflow. Well, that part didn't really change too much. Maybe it's time for an update on my actual camera setup. What do you think? This is Sam. I will see you next time. Bye!